Councilmember Tania Acosta,
Present.
Councilmember Melissa Rodriguez,
Present.
Councilmember Jose Montaño,
Here.
Councilmember Ray Shelton, Councilmember Michael Valdenegro,
Present.
Councilmember Richard Acosta,
Present.
City Manager Ana Urquijo, City Attorney Dennis Fitzgibbons,
Present.
City Treasurer Alejandro Martinez.
Here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the record, Councilmember Ray Shelton is excused and the city manager is connecting momentarily.
Thank you. Item number 4, discussion decision to call for and conduct an executive session. Item A, under the authority of ARS 38-431.
Mr. Mayor, before you move forward, we need to go back to item number 3, please.
Oh, sorry, I crossed it out for some reason. Persons wishing to address the council in writing or verbally on any item not on the agenda. Ms. Clerk,
We do not.
thank you. Item 4, discussion decision to call for and conduct an executive session. Item 8, under the authority of ARS 38-431.03, A3, 4, and 7, to consider its position, instruct its representatives, and obtain legal advice regarding the purchase, sale, or lease of real property located at Rancho La Parrilla, Estates Blocks 3 and 4. B, under the authority of ARS 38-431.03, A3, 4, and 7, to consider its position, instruct its representatives, and obtain legal advice regarding the consideration pertaining to the request for right-of-way abandonment for a portion of 16th Street and North Sulphur Springs Road between H Avenue and 17th Street. And item C, under the authority of ARS 38-431.03, A3, and 7, to consider its position, instruct its representatives, and obtain legal advice regarding the consideration of potential strategic real estate investment opportunities. May I have a motion to enter into executive session?
Mayor,
Mrs. Acosta,
I make a motion to enter into executive session.
do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Acosta, second by Mrs. Rodriguez. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilmember Montaño,
Yes.
Valdenegro,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Acosta,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion passes. We enter executive session at 5:03 PM. We adjourn executive session at 6:01 PM. Item number 5, excuse me, discussion decision on approvals. Item A, second reading of ordinance number 25-1215, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, extending and increasing the corporate limits of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, state of Arizona, pursuant to the provisions of Title 9, Chapter 4, Article 7, Arizona Revised Statutes, and amendment thereto, by annexing certain territory contiguous to the existing city of Douglas limits consisting of 89.05 acres, more or less, and located in the known area as the southeastern portion of Sunnyside Fire District area annexation, and adopting initial zoning of SFR 32 for said territory, establishing severability of components of ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof. Ms. Cuevas?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. This ordinance annexes territories contiguous to the city of Douglas within Cochise County and known as the SPF SS FDA, southeastern portion of Sunnyside Fire District area. This action is a part of the city's long-term strategic annexation plan and complies with all the provisions of ARS 9-471. This annexation petition was signed by the required number of property owners and meets the statutory property value threshold for annexation. This ordinance presented for council adoption formally extends the city's corporate boundaries to include the southeastern portion of Sunnyside Fire District area. All procedural steps, including verification of signatures and filing with the Cochise County Recorder Office, are complete. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 25-1215?
Mayor,
Mayor, Mrs. Acosta?
I move that mayor and council approve the second reading of ordinance number 25-1215 by number and title only.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I've heard it this way, but I don't know what. Oh, second by Mr. Valdenegro, a motion by Mrs. Acosta. Any discussion?
We do not, Mr. Mayor, not for this item.
Any discussion? No discussion, roll call, please.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilmember Montaño,
Yes.
Councilmember Valvanegro,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tempore Acosta,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, motion passes. Next item, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mayor,
Mrs. Acosta,
I make a motion to adjourn.
do I have a second? Motion by Mrs. Acosta, second by Mr. Valdenegro. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it. We adjourn special meeting at 6:04 PM. Like to call this regular meeting to order at 6:04 PM. Can we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and keep standing for the invocation by Bishop Adam Brake? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Our Father in heaven, we are so grateful to be here this evening. And we're so grateful for all in this community here and those who are not present who care deeply about the lives we have down here. We ask the Fathers tonight to bless our leaders, bless them with the inspiration they need to be able to make inspired choices that would further cause our city to flourish. Father, we ask a special blessing upon all those in our city limits who may be struggling at this time, that thou might be with them. And we also, Father, ask that you continue to pour out this bounty upon us as we see our city advancing and we see causes we've been fighting for years starting to come to fruition. Father, please help us to keep up the momentum. We are so grateful for all that we have, and please bless our leaders that they can be inspired, have thy protection spirit with them. And we say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thanks, Dan. Really quick, I want to have a moment of silence before I ask you about your church and ministry. Moment of silence for Luis Alvarez, passed away. He was a big leader in our community. He volunteered his time for the youth, basketball coach, and also a great man. I know his brother is a great family. very caring family. And also for Alfredo Gutierrez, who passed away. He was a state senator. He was one of the founding fathers of Chicanos por la Causa, really helped, the Hispanic community and just Arizonans in general, looking out for his fellow man, so he will be missed also, we could have him inside. Thank you. Mr. Brake, can you tell us about your church ministry, your ongoings?
Yeah, well, not here on finance committee stuff, so I'm Bishop Brake here right now, but I'm the bishop here of the congregation and of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Our mission, unified like many of our congregations of other Christian denominations here, is to bring people closer to Christ and to build families through that. So in terms of our ministry here, you probably see our missionaries walking around occasionally. I greatly appreciate any time you have a kind word for them or a cup of water at the door. One thing that missionaries who visit through Douglas constantly say is this community is full of some of the kindest people they've ever met. And I think that's a big testament to who this community is, to the values we have. And I love being in this community, and I love being able to serve in the church here as well.
Thank you. Do you still have open gym?
You know, periodically on Friday, we, as you guys know, one of the most violent sports right up there with UFC fighting is church basketball. So we try to get that a little under control every now and then. So when we have violent flare-ups, we back off.
And it's usually him, when you play against him, he
Yeah.
played an AP once and then he brought that stuff to Douglas. So you gotta watch out for him.
I was trained right, church ball, right?
Thank you, Mr. Brake.
you.
Appreciate it. Item 4, roll call, please.
Mayor Jose Grijalva,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tempore Tania Acosta, Councilmember Melissa Rodriguez,
Present.
Councilmember Jose Montaño,
Here.
Councilmember Ray Shelton, Councilmember Michael Valdenegro, Councilmember Victor Acosta, City Manager Ana Urquijo,
Present.
City Attorney Dennis Fitzgibbons,
Present.
City Treasurer Alejandro Martinez.
Here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the record, Councilmember Ray Shelton and Mayor Pro Tempore Tania Acosta are excused.
Thank you. Item number 5, events update.
Join the Recreation Department for our upcoming events. Baseball fans, you won't want to miss this. The Mexican Baseball Fiesta on October 1st at Copper King Stadium. It's the Naranjeros taking on the Yaquis. Who do you think will win this year? Next, get your costumes ready for our Trunk or Treat Hawkins Chronicles on Halloween night. It's going to be a spooktacular night full of chills, thrills, and candy spills. Location is still to be determined, so keep an eye out on our Facebook page for updates. Don't miss out. These events are going to be a home run and a scream. Our aquatic department has a few exciting announcements.
We have great news to share. The butterfly valve in the Aquatic Center pump room has been completely replaced, and we're happy to report that the pump is up and running again. That means lapsum will resume at the Aquatic Center starting Tuesday, August 12, 2025. We're also keeping things active at the 8th Street Pool with Open Swim, which is available every Saturday and Sunday, perfect for families and weekend fun. Don't miss Night Swim every Friday at the 8th Street Park Pool. Come cool off under the stars. Afternoon adult swim lessons run Monday through Thursday, and session 2 kicks off on August 18. Plus, water aerobics continues into the fall every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoon. Whether you're looking to swim laps, learn new skills, or just stay active, there's something for everyone. Visit us in person at the Aquatic Center or register online to join any of our adult programs.
Hello from the Douglas Public Library. We are here again this month of August, and we have activities every single week for all ages. We are done with our summer reading program, but we will have activities all year long, so we hope you can join us. Mondays, we have relaxing activities like coloring, arts and crafts, board games, and more from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday, we have STEAM Club at 3:30 for kids, and we do experiments, we do art, we do after-school snacks. We have something different every single week. Wednesdays, we have movies for kids and teens, and that is at 3 p.m., free popcorn and juice. And Thursdays, we have story time at 11 a.m. for the little ones. And we do songs, books, and we have playtime afterwards. We also have our paint night this month on the 22nd of August at 5 p.m. You can call or visit us to register, and that is paint night for adults. All materials included. We hope you come and join us and have a fun, relaxing night. We also have book club at the end of the month, the last Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. We hope we see you here all year round, and we will have activities for everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Item number 6, mayor and council member updates and or reports. I'd like to remind council, anything you did, this is the time to thank anybody, or, the last part of the item is for specifically for items that are going to be on the agenda, just so we could keep intact with open meeting law. And any updates from council? I have a few. I met with, I want to get his name right because I was calling him Juan Jose. It's Jose Juan Bernal from the Episcopal Church. They're looking to begin construction. He came to talk to me about the fee waiving program that Mr. Valdenegro spearheaded when he brought it up for the hate crime. So I'd like to ask staff if they can help him out with that program to get those fees waived. And also we agreed that the next chat with the mayor will be there on September 6th at their church. I also met with the high school students this month to basically describe what a mayor does, what council does, trying to spark their interest so they could know what we can do, what we can't do, so they can also throw out some ideas, and I gave them some city updates. We're working with staff on the Mariachi Festival for September 13th. We have a few mariachis lined up. The plan is to have it at 10th Street Park so we could celebrate our culture. It's a while since we've had something like that. And also, I'm sure you've all heard the groundbreaking ceremony next month. The Commercial Port of Entry they've already started on it. We're just kind of lagging on the celebration, but we're going to celebrate it, inviting dignitaries, and hopefully it's a good show. It's also going to be the day of the pig game, so they'll all be invited to go to the pig game too. And hopefully cheer Douglas. If they're going to be our guests, they got to cheer for the home team. No other updates. Let's go to item number 7, Hispanic Heritage Month. Whereas for more than a century, the city of Douglas has embraced a diverse culture interwoven with the Mexican culture, and whereas the Hispanic community is a dynamic, valued part of our city and a vital contributor to our economy, and with an entrepreneurial spirit, a strong work ethic, and unwavering belief in the American dream, whereas the Hispanic culture shapes the city of Douglas community and influences our art, literature, music, food, faith, family values, thereby enriching our people. And whereas the purpose of Hispanic Heritage Month is to recognize the countless contributions of Hispanic heritage people to the United States of America, many people of Hispanic heritage serve as civil leaders, politicians, educators, innovators, healthcare professionals, first responders, scientists, athletes, artists, religious leaders, and more. And whereas Hispanic heritage is interwoven into the city of Douglas and reflects a beautiful array of a distinct culture in our community, now therefore let it be resolved that I, Jose Grijalva, Mayor, on behalf of the city of Douglas, Arizona, do hereby proclaim September 15th through October 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month, Mes de la Herencia Hispana, and call upon the citizens of Douglas to celebrate the talents, culture, and spirit of Hispanic heritage. And just by the roll call here, Montaño, Grijalva, Rodriguez, Valdenegro, we all say it's all in our culture. That's who we are. And again, that's what makes us unique. Being next door to Agua Prieta, it's the same people, it's the same culture. So we're very proud of that. Item number 8, presentation of awards. Item A, in recognition to the Douglas Little League Senior All-Stars team for their state win and good representation in Oakland, California at the West Region Tournament, I will name the players really quick. Maximiliano Algara. If I pronounce your name wrong, feel free to scream it out and correct me. That's the only way I'll learn. Jaden Arciniega, Sebastian Avechuco, Miguel Bustamante, Rafael Busain, Abel Clinch, Diego Duarte, Christopher Escarcega, Emiliano Fimbres, Ezekiel Gonzalez, Isidro Hoyos, Rodrigo Lamadrid, and Eric Damian Villalobos, and also the managers, the manager Jesus Duarte and coaches Chris Escarcega and Jesus Martinez. Can you all please come up for a photo really quick? And let's congratulate them. For people up front, which by this height it be. I know this is going. Sir. Thank you. Thank you. For this next item, I'll let Mrs. Rodriguez announce the majors.
So in recognition to the Douglas Little League Majors All-Stars team for their District 8 tournament win. And I will now announce the majors players. Hector Arciniega, Braden Bustamante, Zarik Garcia, Roman Gonzalez, Saul Higuera, Jacob Hurtado, Maximiliano Lagarda, Alan Martinez, Everardo Orozco, Damian Peña, Fabian Valenzuela, and Derek Vasquez. The manager for the majors team is Eric Valenzuela, coaches Bert Garcia and Frankie Arciniega. Yes. Hold on. Don't leave yet. And seniors team also.
Mrs. Rodriguez has a few words for the players and the coaches, the program.
We're very worried. No, these kids are eager to get back to their house because they have tons of homework that the principal gave them. All right, first of all, I have a few words to say. So Douglas Little League and these kids are really close to my heart. I've been part of Douglas Little League for a long time now. So first and foremost, I want to congratulate the seniors baseball team and the majors baseball team for the successes this summer. I'm so proud of you boys. You truly have grit and determination, and that's what takes you to the next level. So once again, I'm really proud of you. But I also want to give thanks to Douglas Little League for the success they've had over the years. I want to share a short recap of the successes we've had in Douglas Little League in just the last 3 years. So along with the successes of these teams here, just to let you know, in the last 3 years, Douglas Little League has had 8 district championships, 6 baseball and 2 softball, 7 state appearances, and 2 of those being actually softball, 2 out of the 7, with 2 state championships and 1 state runner-up. And in the past 3 years, we've had 3 West Region appearances. 3. 2 at the intermediate level and 1 at the juniors level. And for some of these boys there and the seniors, this isn't their first West Region appearance. For some of them, it's their second. So very, very proud of that. And of course, I don't want to leave out this additional recognition because without these successes, wouldn't be possible without the hard work of the board members, the managers and the coaches and all the volunteers that help make the season and postseason successful. So thank you so much. And of course, a special thank you to the Douglas community for all your support. It is greatly appreciated. Great job, boys. Thank you.
After this, it's all boring stuff, so you guys can go if you want. Thank you. Thank you for being the great ambassadors that you make our city look good. We're just here. Sometimes we get the praise, but it's you all going out there, behaving, showing them the culture that brought you up, that makes us proud. You make us proud to be called Douglas residents. Thank you. Well, it looked nice when it was full, wasn't it? The room was- Item number 9, persons wishing to address the council in writing or verbally on any item not on the agenda. I have form for Ida and Pedrego.
Good evening. My name is Ida Ann Pedrego and I reside in 1815 East Fifth Street. I just wanted to say at our last meeting, I spoke and I asked if the city council members could meet with their constituents outside of here. And again, you saw it. It filled up because it was an award. And I understand, as you mentioned, Ms. Rodriguez, you work full time and it's hard and you can't meet with us. But you know, we're available Saturdays, Sundays after work. But I really think it's imperative that you try to make a commitment because there's many citizens of Douglas that they don't even call. They'll call and they'll call me because they know I speak up. Or they'll call other people to get things done, but it shouldn't be that way. We should be going out to them. And I do know that many of you work, but it's a commitment. Being on city council is a commitment. You made a commitment when you ran, and I believe it's something that needs to be addressed. If not, maybe we need to put it in the job description for the city council members. But anyway, this is what I'd like to say. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Pedrego. We have the supervisor back there. I think she's giving me signal, so we'll invite her. And I also wanted to invite Jay. Would you be willing to say a few words? We'll have you sign the paper afterwards, if that's okay. Afterwards. He's the bearer of good news tonight, so.
I sure hope so. I'm Jay Hamwright. I am the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Sierra Vista. I've been working closely with some city staff, and of course, the mayor and our city manager. So I'm excited. Our organization is excited to come here. I love seeing the kids here. That's what we're all about. I love to seeing the care that you have in the kids, and I believe that even the discussions and everything that led up to this shows that this community cares about these kids, and I just want to be a part of that. Boys and Girls Club Sierra Vista just wants to be a part of that. So we're excited. We're looking to get started here soon. We're looking to offer a whole bunch of opportunities for kids, mentorship, obviously a safe place for kids to go after school and during breaks. So we're excited to get everything going.
Thank you. I'll say this first out loud because you kind of went over time last time. So I did tell our city clerk that when it's any dignitaries, any elected officials, either state, county, or federal, if we get lucky, we get federal representation here for call to the public. I'll waive the 3 minutes. Just please don't stay 30 minutes, but I'll waive the 3 minutes.
I'll be quick, but I think these are really important that I want to bring up. We don't have a check, but through my funds, I have awarded $10,000 to the Boys and Girls Club of Douglas. So to help kick it off and get started, and hopefully I'll be able to do that next year too. It's full circle because back in 2008, there was a group of us who tried to do a Boys and Girls Club, but we couldn't 50,000 to be able to establish it. I know it's gone, but this is a really incredible thing. And I thank Sierra Vista for being willing to help us do that. So just a couple of things. I think it's really important. Yeah. Okay. So how about next time you bring the check and then we can give it to them? Okay. So we'll come in and we'll give you the check on the 27th. Well, one of the reasons I wanted to come and talk to you guys is on August 25th, we are going to have a meeting at the county building here in Douglas to talk about the jail tax. We had to have actually another election. This jail tax is really extremely important. We didn't have any turnout last time when they had this. And this is important to understand why we're asking for a 0.5-cent sales tax, because we have to fund a jail. And we're going to have the sheriff here. We're going to have the other board of supervisors to explain why this is extremely important. If we don't, the state can come in, the federal government can come in, shut us down, and the expense of having to ship all our inmates, 65% of them who have mental health issues, to other counties is going to be extremely expensive, and we won't have money to give to these things like the Boys and Girls Club. Now, the port of entry is exciting, right? I come to you because I'm imploring you guys that we have to, and that means you guys, the city council, has to be involved in this. When I came on board, one of the things I asked was, where is there a strategic economic development plan? What they gave me was for water and sewer. We have the building being built, but we do not have $44 million for the road, nor, as I understand, $24 million for the pipes that are going to carry sewer, water, and internet to the port of entry. Without a Port of Authority board, we look like we are not in the game. When I went to a meeting where there was all the congressional offices, Nogales is there with a Port of Authority board, stakeholders on both sides, supervisors, city council, and mayors, Yuma and Nogales. Douglas, it was the mayor and I and staff. We don't have a Port of Authority board. I know this was established during my father's tenure, and I talked to Mr. Vendosa, and he says, well, it's kind of just didn't happen. Working on the Hill for 10 years, I can tell you, I worked with the Appropriations Committee and Authorization Committee. If you do not have stakeholders, if you do not have the town involved, the city council, the county and the state, you will not get the money. So now I hear them talking, we'll get the money in 2030, well, let's see, we're 2025, 2038, or 2028, 2030. We will lose all the opportunity. So what I've decided to do, because I've asked for it, is to start a Port of Authority board. I'm going to go to Yuma and Nogales. They have graciously say they will give us the bylaws so that Douglas can establish one. Mr. Fernandez and Mr. Vendosola have been in the game for a long time. I thank them for their service, but now we need to have Velcro. We need to have Levolor over there. We need to have the commercial trucks. We need to have the cattlemen. We need to have the maquiladores. We need to have the distillery on this Port of Authority board, as well as with the people on this side, so that when we go to congressional offices, we have stakeholders. That's the reason why we can't get any money. I sat there and listened to 653 million for Nogales, 780 million for Yuma. What did we get? We haven't gotten anything. ADOT keeps on saying, we're going to get the road. We'll give you the road. We'll give you the road. There were supposed to be grants. You cannot rely on grants. We have to be at the table. The squeaky wheel gets the deal, and that's exactly what's going to have to happen. So I wanted you to know that I asked, as of 2020, how much has the county given to this effort? 10 million. 10 million, and we're not seeing any movement on that road or for the 24 million for the pipes. So I'm asking you, please, to join me. Let's start a roundtable. Let's get the people in Agua Prieta on board. I would like to do an economic corridor, because this port of entry is not just about Douglas. It's about the county. It's about an economic corridor going up 191. It's about including BDI. It's about the possibility of bringing rail back. I've asked the mayor to include me in talking to those in Sonora so that they know that we're serious. We have to be doing it now. So what I've also done is asked the supervisors in the county to fund a strategic plan for the port of entry. This strategic plan would give us a roadmap on what we need to do to make sure that we get this up and going, and not in 4 or 5, 6 years, but in 1 or 2 or 3. With that could come a hospital. And I've talked to the mayor, and I have talked to several people, especially in Yuma Regional. They're interested, but they have to see us involved. Otherwise, they feel that, why would we go there? We talked to Senator Fernandez. He said, if we come down there, the Yuma Regional Hospital, because they have a mental health aspect, they're also starting a school where if you go, your expenses will be paid, but you have to serve in rural communities. They want to bring those people over here to practice, but we have to be at the meetings. We have to show up at the meetings. So we will be announcing pretty soon. They'll be coming down to check out Douglas, where we can put the hospital. We believe we have the land for it. This is really, really crucial, but it needs all of you at the table, because that is what we are elected to do, to represent our constituents where they can't. You all have to participate. So I'm imploring you through the mayor and I, we meet twice a week. We go have dinner and we talk about what we need to do for Douglas and for the county, because I believe I was elected to bring the county east of the New Mountains to the table, to the Cochise County table, so that we can reap the benefits of what Sierra Vista, Bisbee, Tombstone, Benson has been getting for so many years. So that's one of the things on the port of entry that I'm excited about doing, the strategic plan. Now, I want to say to the mayor, I really congratulate him. You need a pay increase, because you have gone to so many meetings and you've been there when I've asked you to do many things. So just a shout out to you. I can't believe what you get paid. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is the asphalt. Now, in the meetings with the Public Works, I've asked them to make sure that they work with the Douglas new asphalt plant. The concerns is the quality of the asphalt. So I've asked our engineer in Public Works to reach out to your staff to make sure that we can use your asphalt. So please, I'm encouraging you to talk to your staff to set up that meeting. If they need my help, just give me a call. I'll set up the meeting, but I think that's very important going down the road. If the county wants to use your asphalt, but we have to make sure that the quality of the asphalt is good for different types of roads. The next thing, I had a 23rd Street. You guys have annexed that street, but there's incredible flooding. south, or I guess it would be north of 23rd, those people are still in the county. Now, south of 23rd, that is going to be in Douglas. When you put up the curb, it's going to even create more of a flooding. The last big rain almost went up into the houses of the people who live north of 23rd into their homes. For us to make sure, and this is where the county and the city of Douglas has to work hand in hand, we need both of our engineers to meet to see how we both can deal with the issue of flooding on 23rd Street. So it's not just a matter of annexing. I would also say that a lot of those people don't know you've annexed them. So I think it's a good kind of constituent thing to make sure that they understand that they are annexed, 23rd Street is annexed into the city of Douglas. The other thing I want to talk about is I went to the Rural Policy Forum and I talked to an Aaron Ellsworth, who is with the Andrea Infantis' office, Secretary of State, Director of Business Services. And he said to me, you know, I called trying to find a Chamber of Commerce because he's doing amazing things in Bisbee, Sierra Vista, and Tombstone. And I said, well, why didn't you call out? Why didn't you do something in Douglas? He says, I looked. I called one number, a Chamber of Commerce, nobody answered. And guess what? He gave up. And I said, well, I think there's 4 chambers of commerce. He goes, that is not going to work. You need to consolidate them. You can tell them to call me because you have to have one chamber of commerce. So whatever you all can do to encourage the groups that are there who are really dedicated to the city and want to see something done, they have to come together because I'm telling you, we're missing out on grants. We're missing out on services from all the different offices. The Rural Policy Forum, I would encourage you all to attend. It was incredible to go to Thatcher and Safford and see the growth and see how it's booming. And I just, you know, they had an economic plan for their city that was unbelievable. So again, I want to be able to come here at least once a month to tell you what the county is doing, to bring Douglas to that seat. And we work together to make this a really incredible place, which we all knew it was. We have incredible bones for this city. And we just need to come together, work together, and, you know, bring some new ideas, things outside of the box, which your mayor does all the time, and work together to make all these projects come to fruition. So thank you very much for letting me go over the 3 minutes. I really appreciate it. I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Since I opened it up to the audience, anyone else want to say a few words? Yeah. We don't get blessed with your presence a lot, Mr. Torres, so of
Okay,
course.
very good. So I have 3 things, 3 minutes for each or 3 minutes total?
3 minutes total.
Total? Okay. Number 1, thank you, everybody. In the month of June, Ballad Entertainment had its most successful month. And with that said, we had people visiting from Tucson, Sierra Vista, Phoenix, Los Angeles, McAllen, Texas, El Paso, Texas, Hermosillo, and the small towns here south of Sonora. Was it a successful profit for me? No. Was it good for the city? Maybe, because these people came and they shopped locally, hotels, etc. And the city generates a city tax revenue from that. And with that said, I'm in the process right now of requesting something that I requested in 2018 to the city of Douglas, curb and gutter. This gentleman here with if the Boys Club is going to be north of my property, I think curb and gutter will accommodate where I've been requesting for the past 7 years. Yes, I've spoken to city staff and they got plans and everything, but everything, the best technology we have now is getting out there. Mrs. Perez says, come visit us. Physically, this is the best camera. This is not the best camera. Physically visiting what our need business people is what we need you guys. And I invite every single council member here to come out and see our needs, especially with the rains we've had yesterday, the day before. And also, the last thing I want to say, I had a great experience working with one of the events that took place from Mrs. Urquijo, the recreation. You have a wonderful staff. It was very interesting working with your staff. And Ballad Entertainment has a lot more coming, but we need your support. Your support with all these things that make it look. You know, we got people coming from McAllen, Texas, no curb and gutter here. They roll over. I made a curb and gutter to stop the water flowing into the property. And I need some type of help with that. Thank you so much.
Mr. Torres, don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger to these meetings. Like to direct staff for an update on that, on his, getting him curbing and gutters. Moving on, item 10, discussion decision on approval of consent agenda items. Item A, expenditures for the month of July 2025 totaling $6,580,925.58. Item B, meeting minutes for July 9th and July 30th, 2025. Item C, liquor license 009 for Douglas Beverage and Grocery. Item D, Douglas Public Facility Municipal Property Corporation, MPC Golf Course reappointments of James Selchow, Kevin Alvarado, and an appointment of Joe Salcido. Item E, resolution number 25-1684, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, ratifying the transfer of a grant-funded vehicle from the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office to the Douglas Police Department, the 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe PPV. Item F, resolution number 25-1685, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the city of Douglas to accept grant funding from Walmart in the amount of $5,000 as part of their fiscal year 2025 community grants program. Item G, resolution number 25-1686, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the city of Douglas to accept grant funding from Best Friends Animal Society in the amount of $1,000 as part of their fiscal year 2025 Pause in the Field Challenge. Item H, resolution number 25-1687, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the execution of a design services contract to Kimley Horn and Associates, Inc. for the new 16-inch water line from Airport Road to the 5 million gallon reservoir located in Cochise County, Arizona. Item I, resolution number 25-1688, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the execution of a design services contract to Stantec Consulting Services, Inc. for West Douglas Water Campus, new well equipment, reservoir, booster pump station, and treatment located at Cochise College in Cochise County, Arizona. Item J, resolution number 25-1690, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing an amendment to the intergovernmental agreement between the city of Douglas and the Arizona Department of Corrections, Rehabilitation, and Reentry on behalf of the Arizona State Prison Complex, Douglas, to amend the inmate labor pay rate from 50 cents to $1 per hour and authorizing the city manager to execute the amended contract. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
Mayor,
Mrs. Rodriguez.
I move that the mayor and council approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Baldenegro, motion by Mrs. Rodriguez. I'm going to pull item J out for discussion. So we'll vote on the rest of them and then we'll discuss item J. Any discussion? Yeah, we're gonna vote on the others and then talk about that separate. So we're gonna talk about all the items except J. Is there any discussions on the rest of the items? Hearing none, roll call please.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Montaño?
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro?
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, motion passes. Item J, as Mr. Baldenegro mentioned, during the budget review, staff, Mrs. Urquijo and Ms. Smith, we were talking about the pay rate, and one of the things was, why don't the inmates like to come to work in Douglas? So apparently, they get to pick where they work, and it depends on the pay. So we're really looking to pay, as it says here, $1, just like Sarah Vista, so we could try to get them here. And after remembering Ms. Smith's presentation about the parks, that we don't have enough crews for the parks and for to clean the weeds up, to do the streets, basically to do a lot of the labor that we don't have. She doesn't have that personnel for those departments. That's when I mentioned, why don't we do it for $1.50. That way we can get not only more inmates, but also the higher skilled inmates that could do different things that the other inmates cannot do. So, Ms. Smith, can you talk about the discussion that, and how that would help you out?
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Council, and members of the public. The item before you is an amendment to a longstanding IGA with the Arizona Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation and Reentry, or ADCRR, for inmate labor provided by the Arizona State Prison Complex Douglas. Essentially, for background, during the July special meeting, council approved the budget adoption fiscal year 2025-2026, which included the pay increase for inmate labor at $1 per hour, basically doubling what we were already paying them, which was 50 cents. This item is to propose and increase it to $1.50, which will impact the budget. The city paid approximately $11,500 for inmate labor under the current rate of 50 cents per hour. With the original proposed increase to $1 per hour, labor costs are projected to double, bringing the estimated annual expenditures to approximately $23,000. This increase was accounted for and approved for in the budget. The additional 50% increase will increase the cost by an additional $11,500, which is not budgeted, bringing the total cost to about $34,000. Staff will monitor the savings to absorb costs through the year and adjust future budgets accordingly. And as I presented in our parks presentation, it's such an advantage for us to be able to use this. What we've been faced with is sometimes inmates have the opportunity to go work in other locations that have IGAs. Right now, it's typically like Sierra Vista. They're about like at a $1 rate. I did ask the warden prior to this item coming before you today to thought if it was healthy for competitive. She said basically if the budget can handle it, it's going to be welcomed. She did mention that this year that the store at the prison are going to be increasing their costs. So this is definitely going to help. And as well, I mean, it's just a side note that within the complex, they're not allowed to smoke anymore after September. So that's just another way to help incentivize them to come out and keep our talented workforce with some of the inmates that we do get out of there that really help us with public works. We have them on streets. We have them at the police department, animal shelter, and of course our parks.
Thank you. Mrs. Urquijo, if you don't mind me asking, you mentioned that the funding for this can also come from unfilled positions, right? I think you're muted.
Sorry, couldn't unmute. Mayor, members of the council, yes, we monitor the budget through the year, and vacancy savings or other operational savings is what we monitor. So it's not a huge impact to the budget. We'll be okay and adjust accordingly after. If we get to a point as we monitor the budget monthly where we are short for that, then we'll ask for a one-time transfer. But we won't, it would be only if the operating budget as currently approved cannot absorb it. So we'll just let you know. I would like to make a point also that, you know, I think there's pros and cons to both the dollar and the $1.50. I think the dollar presents maybe a new normal so that it is not necessarily competitive, but a new status quo. So that it doesn't produce more back and forth competition, but also the 150 is something that could stabilize and sustain a better operation for the many needs that we have. So I can see both sides, and I think that's the reason we all agreed to pull it, to have the healthy discussion with mayor and council and see how that goes with all of you. And we're here to answer any more questions.
Oh, Mr. Valdenegri brought it up. Do you have anything?
Yes, sir. How many workforce do we get?
Mayor, Councilmember Valdenegro, we have about 10, and those fluctuate. Sometimes some inmates are held back for certain reasons. It might be medical, might be different issues. We have periodic meetings with, we call them our IG quarterly meetings with the warden and staff. And there's potential to increase these crews. We always ask to see if we can have additional crews. We have a betterment crew as well. That's like a community crew that's with a DOC officer. And then we have our crews that are with our staff. So we always ask to help, but we also stay at a level that's manageable for staff because too many to manage. We also don't want to put our staff in that situation either. I can check on that. I'm not exactly sure. Our status right now is like 10 trustees. And that's been pretty consistent for the last, I would say post-COVID, so the past few years. But I can check on that and certainly get back to you.
Yes, Mayor.
Rodriguez?
So I think that if we increase the amount to $1.50, I don't want this to turn into a competitive thing with another city. Because if say we moved to 150 and then Sierra Vista or whoever else is, so-called competing with us, then moves up to say $2, then if we can't financially sustain it, so I think just keeping it with the status quo, if the dollar is what's the going rate, maybe start there and see the skill level of the inmates that we receive, and then maybe come up at a different meeting to possibly increase if needed. I mean, that's just, I don't want it to turn into a competitive thing with any other city.
Can, to Mrs. Rodriguez's point, can we, what's the word that we,
It's already stated as a.
amend it at any time?
The IGA agreement on the pay rate, yes.
Yes.
Any other discussion?
Mayor,
Fine.
yeah, when discussing it with Mr. Kehoe, that was one of my concerns, is that it would turn into a Sierra Vista that's gonna pay $2 now, so now we don't get any because they all want to go to Sierra Vista. So I think by keeping it at $1, it keeps it as at a competitive level. And if we increase it to 150 because we want to get more inmates, well, now that just increases the amount that we have to pay. So now, like, if we get 20 inmates, now we're doubling the amount that we budgeted for. So that's not budgeted for. So I think that our best option is to keep it at a competitive level where if the inmates are given a chance to go wherever, they're probably gonna wanna come here so they don't have to drive an hour in the bus. But for $1, it's gonna be a wash. So I think by increasing it more than that, it could turn into a $2, $3. Pretty soon we'll be paying $5 and having the same labor. So that's my opinion.
I mean, I agree with Councilwoman Montaño, Councilwoman Acosta, Rodriguez, excuse me. I mean, I say we keep it at $1, and that if needed in the future, we could meet and make an amendment to the contract. But again, at $1, we get 20 laborers, trustees come in, that's already a gain, that's already a plus. So work will get done around the community. So I say we just keep as is.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I remember when I was employee from the project. Used to have their representatives turn up for permanent transportation, family, or all local problems. Basically, look up, there was like but we used to have the equivalent of 15 minutes. COVID changed. So, in that respect, I feel that we need to acknowledge that because the community labor is going to be there. We get paid for the number of 13.
I was gonna thank you for the story because we didn't have Mr. Shelton to tell us, whenever he worked, you filled that nicely tonight. No, it's a compliment, no worries. Me, I like to be proactive. That's why I brought it up. I like to be competitive. They're not shy about competing with us, especially Bisbee and Cerro Vista, Nogales. They like to sort of poke at us and wanna, always say that they get everything. We don't get anything. So, but I mean, this is council's, at least the consensus. But if you do have overbearing needs, like, hey, we need to go clean these weeds, they're a health, they're a hazard, because they're so high and you don't have the staff. Yeah, I think you should come back to us, Ms. Smith, or at least write us an email saying, hey, I need the help. Just so council can know, hey, maybe we need to be competitive instead of complacent. There's no other discussion. Roll call, please.
Wait, Mr. Mayor? I think you took it off consent, so can we just get a motion in second, since it's a separate item now?
Okay, do I have a motion? Well,
Right. Mayor,
Mrs. Rodriguez?
I move to approve resolution 25-1690.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Acosta. We already had discussion, so roll call, please.
It just a clarification. We have a motion by Councilmember Rodriguez to leave the rate at $1. So that we
Yes,
can
just
amend
that-
the resolution.
just
That is correct, as
That's correct.
stated by
Okay.
by Jay.
It's correct. It's as is. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Montaño?
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro?
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
No, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Item 11, discussion decision on approvals. Item A, resolution 25-1689, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the execution of a master utility service agreement with Sustainability Partners LLC that establishes a contract to provide infrastructure as a service type contract or capital recovery service contract for various city infrastructure needs for the city of Douglas. Mr. Pedrosa.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, good evening, and members of council. Want to start off by presentation from Sustainability Partners who are here with us, Mayor. So I want to hand it off to them, led by Mr. Joe Yuhas. They can kind of run through what Sustainability Partners brings and answer any questions you may have. Please.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Once again, my name is Joe Yuhas. Delighted to be here with my colleague Andrew Myers from Sustainability Partners. Andrew drove in from Flagstaff. I came in from Phoenix. So we had a little bit of a road trip to get here tonight, but we're delighted to be here because we think we have something really exciting to share with you. And we've been in conversations with your city manager and your professional staff for several, really a couple of months now. And we're here tonight to present to you an overview of Sustainability Partners. If we can go to the next slide.
She's got a clicker for you there.
We won't wait for that. What you're going to see here tonight is a third way for the first time in 125 years to fund critical infrastructure. We've always had cash. About 125 years ago, the bond financing mechanism became available to municipalities primarily to fund water and wastewater needs during the post-Spanish flu epidemic period. What we've developed is what we call infrastructure as a service. Somewhere in this building, there are probably one, maybe two photocopiers. Odds are the city of Douglas does not own that photocopier. It's a service. You're paying for it on a monthly basis. When the toner runs low, somebody shows up and resupplies the toner. If it breaks, somebody comes out to repair it. One day you come in and you see there's a new photocopier there because it was due to be replaced. That is essentially what Sustainability Partners has done. We have found a creative way to fund critical infrastructure, whether it's water, wastewater, many of the things that were on your agenda earlier tonight. Again, things that frankly communities need in order to thrive. We've had, again, for 125 years, essentially two ways to fund critical infrastructure. The problem is that over time, we've allowed that infrastructure to deteriorate. Deferred maintenance is a common, we have to make tough choices. When it comes time to replacement, we're kicking the can down the road. By the time we get around to replacing that asset, it costs twice as much. So what you see on this chart is over time that cost of infrastructure actually goes up, including periods of time when you don't even have unplanned expenditures, upgrades, repairs that need to be made. Even with those repairs, the quality of that infrastructure goes down. Under our funding model of infrastructure as a service, that cost of infrastructure remains constant over the life of the asset. And in fact, that asset is being improved, it's being upgraded, it's being maintained on a regular basis. So the quality of it is actually increasing. And of course, along with that are the community benefits, the ability for that asset to meet critical needs and the community meet the needs of the public. So let me tell you a little bit about Sustainability Partners. We're a public benefit company. We don't fund private development. We work with communities. We work with municipalities, counties, school districts, other public entities to fund critical infrastructure. We've been around for a little bit less than a decade. We're based in Chandler, although we have nationwide reach. We're active in about 20 states around the country. We're growing exponentially. Hundreds of millions of dollars in capital assets that are out there performing and meeting the needs of the public. But as I said, we're growing quickly. Andrew and I have the privilege of working here in the Arizona market, but we're expanding rapidly because, again, this is sort of a new and unique way to fund infrastructure. We can fund just about anything that's in your capital budget. There are some areas where we really thrive, particularly when it comes to assets that generate revenue or assets that, if they're improved, they'll actually save dollars. But then there's also those things that I would say are more aspirational. They might be in your capital plan, but they're 3, 4, 5 years from now. If you get them done now, rather than wait 5 years, they'll not only meet the needs of the public sooner, but they'll actually cost less because you're getting it done today under today's dollars. And then there's those other assets that are, I would say, more aspirational. They're on your whiteboard somewhere. They're a dream. Let's do something. And I would include in that many of the kind of infrastructure needs that you have that are going to maximize the benefits of the new port of entry. We work with a wide variety of contractors. We're agnostic when it comes to who actually performs the work. We'll actually work through your typical procurement process. We provide the funding. We're agnostic, again, when it comes to who actually performs the work. But we do want to make sure it's quality work, as I'll explain. So under our infrastructure as a service program, there are zero upfront costs. This is one of the great benefits of the program. You're preserving cash. You're preserving your debt capacity. We don't pretend to replace or compete with bond financing. We supplement it. Because in addition to saving, again, that debt capacity, you're still getting the project done, but then now you have that debt capacity to apply to other needs. We can fund up to 100% of a project cost, everything from the initial design, the construction, the installation, even ongoing care and maintenance. You're going to hear about that a little bit more. The asset remains under your complete control. That photocopier, you're deciding who's using it, how they're using it, how often it's going to be used, the kind of quality printing that machine has. But by keeping it off your balance sheet, doesn't dip into your debt capacity, SP and its investors retain ownership of that asset. But you have complete operational control. You have to ask yourself the question, do we really need to own this asset, or we just need to have use of it? And think about all the things that we do have in our own lives that we don't actually own, but we use. We don't own our own automobile. The folks who have the note on the automobile actually own it. You don't own the wastewater plant or the police car, because again, you funded it with debt financing. It's those bondholders that own it. We're able to bring those assets to life sooner and under more favorable financial terms, because again, it doesn't affect your bond or credit rating. It also puts a stop to this, what we call the run to fail mentality, because the maintenance responsibilities for that asset are shifted off of the public entity and to sustainability and its partners and its investors. Now, what that means is we don't get caught in that sort of deferred maintenance trap. We're planning in the program to replace certain components of that asset on a regular basis. If they fail prematurely, it's not on the shoulders of the public entity, it's on sustainability partners and the investors, who again, continue to have responsibility for that asset. One of the, again, many features of the funding program is it mitigates risk. When you enter into any capital improvement project, you're accepting risk. You're accepting the risk for design, you're accepting risk for construction, you're certainly accepting the risk for ongoing maintenance. All of that risk is shifted over to sustainability partners. You're de-risking the project. So again, even when it comes to upfront cost, you might question, well, how does, we have to have some design work done to even determine if we want to move ahead on the project. Sustainability partners will actually reimburse the community for those design costs once we sign an agreement to move ahead. I won't go through each and every one of these boxes, and of course, you're going to have a copy of this for your review. But you can see again sort of the various advantages of the program. For example, optimizing performance. Because SP has maintenance responsibilities, we're talking about actually lowering the cost of the asset over time. In government, we tend to buy the $7 light bulb because it's cheaper than the $8 light bulb, even though the $8 light bulb will last twice as long. Under our funding model, we encourage, in fact, we demand to invest in the $8 light bulb, because our goal is not necessarily the lowest cost to acquire the asset, it's the lowest cost to operate it over time. That works to the benefit of the community. So what's before you tonight is what we call our Master Utility Service Agreement, MUSA. It has nothing to do with any particular projects. Now, after you hear me today and Andrew, and we answer your questions, I suspect the wheels are going to start turning and you're going to start thinking about, whoa, what kind of projects? Boy, this would be ideal for this particular project. That's what tonight is, a first step. The MUSA is our overarching agreement. It's relatively simple by legal standards, a 10-page document, and it's sort of the umbrella for the funding model. Every time a project comes forward, now that project becomes an addendum to the agreement. And what we've seen in other communities where we've been active, if we do one project, many follow. So the MUSA is designed to just allow us to now move forward and start to explore what type of infrastructure projects really are ideal for this funding model that work to the benefit of the city of Douglas. So there's no commitment being made tonight other than the fact that we're going to agree to look for opportunities under the MUSA, again, for projects that do really make the most sense. And I know your staff has been thinking about some of those already. That MUSA is also going to include all of the provisions that I've talked about. There's the option of keeping it off the balance sheet, zero capital required, again, complete operational control by the community. We don't mark up any products or services. So all those contractors that you saw, whoever is involved in a project, we simply pass those costs on. We don't add, commissions or percentages to that. Because again, our goal is again to keep the cost of that asset at the lowest possible cost over time. The maintenance reserve, as I said, but then this is an important provision, the ability to dissolve the agreement at any time. So say 20 years from now, and we fund a wastewater project, and you decide to end that monthly use agreement and take ownership of the asset, a third party comes in, they determine the value of the remaining life of that asset. And that cost is prorated, not against its market value or its replacement cost 20 years from now, but what it cost 20 years earlier to develop. So all that equity that accrues is to the benefit of the community, not to SP and not to their investors. So there's three ways for us to our services to be procured. The most complex way is putting out an RFP. And in some communities that have done that, we were doing a water meter project, for example, in Georgia, and Fulton County, it's a major, good sized county in the Atlanta metro area. In their procurement for their water meters, they put a provision in there that basically said, we're open to water meters as a service, as an option to fund this project. So putting it again through your typical procurement process is one way, and it's probably the most complex way. In other communities where we've worked, their legal staff and their procurement officers have determined that we are essentially a sole source and that our services can be secured in that manner. And then the other, and I think this is the one avenue that your staff is probably most interested in. We are a part of a nationwide buying co-op, Purchasing Cooperative of America. We secured a position to provide infrastructure as a service under PCA. City of Douglas is not a member of PCA, but I think the school district is, right? Yeah. So joining PCA would again be a relatively easy way to get and secure our services. So we've done work, as I said, in 20 states around the country. Jackson, Mississippi is one of our favorites because their water system, frankly, was the subject of national headlines. We're funding a variety of needs in Jackson, but one of them is the replacement of their water meters. City of Albuquerque, we're looking at EV charging and other microgrid needs that they've identified, which is also, again, sort of an economic development tool. In Crowley, Louisiana, we replaced turf on their recreation fields, which not only brought those fields up to a higher standard, but have reduced their long-term maintenance costs. Again, it's a good example of, is it more expensive than grass? Absolutely. But over time, you save money because it's saving money on the maintenance side. So summary, again, all the provisions that I talked about are kind of bulleted here. We can get stuff done sooner, especially under our structure. Again, the agreement that you have before you tonight allows us now to bring specific projects. We're not revisiting the funding model every time. So it's really a cool way to get stuff done. And I know that's why you're here. Anybody who serves in local government, and I did myself, I consider myself a peer of yours. I served on my governing body in New Jersey, on my city council for 3 terms. I just wanted to get stuff done. And there's just a satisfaction of getting stuff done. But the frustration is, how do you get it done when you have debt capacity that's half of the cost of the needs that the community has? And I think what really excites me and Andrew about the opportunity to partner with you, and that's an important word, because we're not here to do business. We're here to partner. When you fund infrastructure through traditional means, those bondholders go away after the bonds are sold. They just want those bond payments made every month. We're not going to go anywhere because, again, we have the maintenance responsibilities. We're looking at building a relationship that's going to lead to other projects. And here in Douglas, I think our funding model presents an extraordinary opportunity to maximize the economic impact of the new port, to put the kind of infrastructure in place in the community that is going to be able to attract the logistics centers and the high wage jobs that will come with it, the additional retail that will come with growth in the community. You're the boss. You're going to decide how the tool is used. And again, it's not going to be a fit for every project, but it now gives you a third opportunity as you're scratching your heads, how are we going to get all this stuff done? Andrew and I'd be happy to answer your questions. And I'm going to let Andrew answer the first question so he has a chance to introduce himself.
Thank you. Appreciate it. May I have a motion to approve resolution 25-1689? Yeah. You guys coordinate well. I'll give that to Mr. Arco.
Mr. Mayor, council approve resolution number 25-16.
Do I have a second? Motion by Mr. Arco, second by Mr. Valdenegro. Any discussions? I'll let him introduce himself, so it'll be worth the trip at least.
No, I appreciate you having me. It's a pleasure to be back in Southern Arizona. My name is Andrew Myers, and nice to meet you, Mayor, members of council. Thank you.
Thank you for coming a long ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're happy to do it.
You could have easily done it. It had to be the supervisor.
Still want to get away with that.
And first and foremost, you could have all done this virtually, but we appreciate your presence. That means more when you're in front of somebody in person.
Well, Anna promised me the Bluebird Cafe was going to be open. I didn't know that that's the, so I don't know what happened, but.
Council, any discussion, questions?
Oh, question. So just so I get this right, you guys are almost like you build the infrastructure or you fix it, and then it's almost like a rent to own type of thing, or am I seeing this right, or?
Sure, probably the thing that's most similar to, although it has key differences, is like a build to suit leaseback type of arrangement. So we can pay, you know, up to 100% of the project costs. We take on the ongoing maintenance responsibility, but you have full operational control. I mean, it's different from a rental own situation because in that case, the interest rates associated with it are so ridiculous that, you know, it's not cost effective. We're a public benefit company. You know, Joe mentioned that earlier. So, you know, we're registered as a B Corp in state of Delaware. We have a responsibility to act in the public interest. We operate on a cost plus basis. So as Joe mentioned, we don't mark up capital, we don't mark up equipment, we don't mark up the maintenance, which, you know, leads to the question, how do we get paid? We make 80 basis points annually on the project. So it's 0.8% of the total cost of the project, you know, divided into 12. That's going to be a line item on, you know, the monthly bill associated with any of the projects that we do. But we bring a lot of value for that 80 basis points that we bring to the table. And, you know, we secure capital at the lowest cost that we possibly can for the benefit of the community with the idea of, you know, buy it once, buy it forever, you know, build these projects in a quality way so that maintenance is going to be reasonable over the long haul and you get the lowest cost of ownership for these assets over time and allow you to move forward on projects much more quickly than you otherwise would be able to. So, you know, say there's a project on the agenda to be done, you know, 3 or 4 years from now, the costs are going to increase, you know, 30, 40% during that time period. You know, we're able to execute on the project today. And you always have the ability to terminate the agreement with 30 days notice. That's the kind of the difference between a build to suit leaseback arrangement and what we're offering is there's no long-term obligation. There's no definite term on it. You can take over ownership of that asset at any time. And it's prorated against, again, what Joe said, the original project cost, not what the fair market value or the replacement value would be.
And one other thing to consider, again, you know, if you choose to exit the agreement, under traditional debt financing, if you pay off the bonds early, there's usually a penalty. In our case, there's no penalty. Again, 30 days notice, pay off there.
So is there a time frame of how long you would do it, or you just do it as long as you keep maintaining it? It could be 40 years from now and still.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking for 100-year relationships with the communities that we're working with. But generally, the natural end to the agreement is at the end of the term of the asset. So if we have a 50-year useful life asset, when that asset's useful life is expended, it gets turned over to you for $1. But full disclosure, we're going to be looking to upgrade that asset before that happens. The whole point of this arrangement is that you're getting out of that run to fail situation. And any asset vertical that you put under management with sustainability partners, you're never going to have an unexpected capital expense associated with that asset. It's all integral to the agreement that we're bringing to the table. So if something needs to be replaced downstream, we're going to do that. So say we fund a wastewater plant, for instance, there's going to be a different replacement schedule for all of the different components of that plant. The filters are going to need to be replaced at 10 years. The pumps are going to need to be replaced at 20 years. The vessels need to be replaced on their own time frame. We're planning for those expenditures as part of the agreement, again, with the idea that it's a smooth curve, it's predictable expenses, and it's the lowest cost of ownership possible over time for the assets that we manage.
Thank you.
Okay. The infrastructure that we're talking about, Port Venture, or we're talking about any town?
Whatever.
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Valdenegro. So those projects are to be determined by Mayor and Council, and those will be brought up to you. Again, as it was stated by Mr. Yuhas, that in front of you is the master agreement that allows us to approve the framework and basically bring projects and as an addendum to this master agreement today. We're not approving any specific projects, but certainly port of entry projects that could be, I mean, they specialize in infrastructure projects such as water, sewer type of projects, basically funding those through the model that they described.
You're here to come on here and when you hire a company to do that.
Yep. I believe our procurement process would handle that. Am I correct?
No, that is correct. I mean, we have engineers that work for our company And there will be an engineer from our side that'll be assigned to the project. We call them an infrastructure specialist. But they don't replace the consulting engineering company. So if you want to, have Stantec or Jacobs or whomever it is that you're going to procure to do the professional engineering on the project, we're happy to work with any of those firms.
And that's a great question when it comes to maintenance. Again, the maintenance reserve fund is there to make sure that the asset is being maintained, scheduled upgrades are happening. We don't care who does the maintenance. We just want to make sure that the maintenance is done. We want you to be aware of the fact that the maintenance is being done. SP and our investors need to know, because if the asset fails, the use payment isn't paid. So we will actually pay the city and its staff. If they are the primary maintenance provider on an asset, we will reimburse the city for those costs. So again, don't really care. We're agnostic, just as we are with contractor, same with ongoing maintenance. We just want to make sure it gets done.
It just, again, some clarifying points as well is that we have joined the PCA, which is how we're approving the agreement today. The PCA is the cooperative. That's how we were able to procure the services. So just want to make that clear. But there's two funding mechanisms that they utilize. And because we're considering different types of projects, both infrastructure and building renovation and different things like that, they offer the infrastructure as a service and the capital recovery service program, which we get to own the asset in those in the capital recovery service, right? Maybe you could talk.
Well, it's similar to infrastructure as a service, except instead of developing new infrastructure, we take one of your existing assets and we basically monetize it. We determine the value of the remaining life of the asset. And then we write a check to the community, and now you have those funds available to do whatever you choose to do with. But we enter that asset into the same kind of use agreement. So we still have SP then essentially takes ownership of the asset with complete operational control in the hands of the community. But again, with the ongoing maintenance responsibilities. It's not a program that is as popular, obviously, as infrastructure as a service, which is, the new infrastructure that everyone needs. It's an option. But it's, and of course, it's fair to say that asset has already expended some of its life. So its value in terms of its useful life may be somewhat limited. It all depends on the nature of the asset.
The question on ownership, though, as well is, we're owning that asset, not because we have any particular interest in owning the asset, but it allows it to be off balance sheet for the community.
Right.
So, I mean, in certain circumstances, if there's certain grants that you're receiving that would require you to have ownership on paper of that asset, that's not a deal breaker for us. It just changes the nature of the way that the agreement is accounted for. So we're flexible on that type of term.
In fact, on a project, if you have state or federal grants that are available and you've secured those and you need a 20% local match, we can be the source for that match.
Mayor, sorry I'll be honest, it was confusing to me. This is not your typical kind of financing that we're all used to seeing initially. And I guess when we're capped on your capacity for debt, because every time you go out for debt in your traditional financing, you have to pledge your taxes, your revenue, basically. As you know, we have a bond, PSPRS bond that we pledged our sales tax towards, is to really stabilize those pension payments. And we are reaching that debt capacity. So this is an alternative to saying you pledge your sales tax revenue. You basically, you don't do that. You're basically giving them ownership. That's them keeping the asset, but you have full control of the operations of it, like they've described. So I hope that hopefully how I simplified it in my mind kind of
confused us
helped everyone, because again, it took me a while, but that's it for me. Thank you.
One more question, Mayor. Sir, you mentioned the maintenance reserve fund. Is that something you guys keep, or is that something that the city would?
It actually belongs to the city. It's much like your mortgage escrow account. When the bank the mortgage holder feels that fund is excessive, what do? They usually write you a check. If you were to end the agreement, all of any dollars that are in that maintenance reserve fund would come back to the community as well. It's not a profit center for Sustainability Partners. We don't mark up, our services. It's there again for assurance, mutual assurance that the asset's going to be, maintained.
And the nature of that reserve would be something that would be part of the terms of the addendum that would come before you for a vote. So that is not a requirement necessarily, but there needs to be an agreement ahead of time of how those maintenance events are going to be handled. And the general way that we handle that is through a maintenance reserve fund. But if there is not enough money in that maintenance reserve fund, we will bring fresh capital to the table to be able to fund that, but that might make a marginal change in what the use fee rate is going to be, or the city could take on, that expense as well. But generally, we try to have a maintenance fund that is going to be exceeding what is going to be required on the maintenance side of things.
We did fields about community centers. Have you guys done some in other cities?
Yeah, it's just another municipal building, whether it's a police station, a senior center, a community center. Your staff's mentioned a community center, by the way. Those are, relatively speaking, not complex kind of repairs and upgrades that need to be made. So you're talking about roofs, flooring, windows, doors, which not only are needed, but then of course, in the end, actually save dollars because it's reducing your maintenance cost. But it's probably also saving on energy. So yeah, we particularly like projects like that. And so now you say, well, wait a minute, you're upgrading an existing building. Does that mean you take ownership of the building? No, all we're doing is retain ownership of the windows and the roof and the assets that we bring into the project. So it doesn't have to be new construction. In fact, when it comes to building upgrades, we generally in a position to fund 100% of those costs. When it comes to new construction, there's some limitations because our investors are going to want to see the community have basically skin in the game. So, now we're talking about 60-70% of those costs. Sometimes 100%, depends on, again, the nature of the project. But when it comes to upgrading of existing facilities, expansion of your wastewater line, we're told that there's a effluent that may be available that can be used in a constructive way in the community to transport that. Again, the possibilities are just endless. And we think after conversation we had tonight to just simply introduce, and that's the exact reason why we're here, to introduce the concept under the MUSA so that now we can start thinking about how it could be applied to specific projects.
We don't have a senior center, we don't have a community center, we don't have a rec center. So this is kind of exciting to see that there's another way to fund it instead of waiting 20 years until we have it, and everything, like you said, gets more expensive by the time we already have it. Any other discussion?
No, I just have a comment, Mayor. No, I see this as a huge asset to the city, because there's endless possibilities, really, in terms of other projects that we may have down the road, and having this service is going to provide that much more for us to be able to bring other things to our community that maybe we didn't think about. So I think it's a good thing.
Thank you for your time.
Mayor?
Mr. Fijo?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I was struggling to hear some of the comments, but I want to just make some final points as well. First of all, thank you to Joe and Andrew for presenting this evening. This is a very innovative concept, and I just highly recommend that we jump into just to get a taste of how this can really help a small city that struggles with resources lead the way, pave the way to capital improvements, which we're having to kind of catch up with. There's so much coming, but we also can really assess each of the individual opportunities that that we can capitalize and really move the needle on with this type of program. Joe and I sat recently and we started with infrastructure discussions, but then we kind of went full circle to so many different areas. So we have more to discuss with council once we get into the strategic direction of how we maybe leverage some of this. But this is the first step, and I think it's very not only strategic but innovative and very courageous, I think, for a small city to step into these areas to be able to leverage things now that we would otherwise set out. You know, our bonding capacity is very small in a small city, and we just don't have the luxury of leveraging those types of resources. And it's not always about grants, so we have to be able to fend for ourselves, and some of these opportunities are just really good conversations for us to have. So thank you again.
Thank you. Another discussion, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes. Thank you again for your attendance.
Thank you.
Here anytime. Item B, first reading of ordinance number 25-1216, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending chapter 8.28 of the Douglas Municipal Code, specifically as to section 8.28.040 F, relating to construction-related noise, establishing severability of components of ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof. Chief Fullen?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. This item is brought to you to come in alignment with the passing of Senate Bill 1182, which was signed by Governor Hobbs by emergency back on May 13th of this year, and was subsequently codified under Arizona Revised Statute 9-500.52. This bill restricts a municipality from enacting or enforcing any noise ordinance that prohibits general construction activities between May 1st and October 15th of each year, between the hours of 5 a.m. and 7 p.m. each business day, and 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Saturday, as long as the construction work is being performed under a valid permit issued by the municipality. Additionally, the municipality must allow concrete to be poured at least 1 hour before the time that general construction activities are regularly scheduled to begin. So staff is recommending that the section under our code, under Article 8.28.040, paragraph F, be stricken in its entirety and replaced as noticed in the draft ordinance, which was attached.
Thank you, Chief. May I have a motion to approve the placement of ordinance 25-1216? Mr. Valdenegro. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Valdenegro, second by Mr. Montaño. Any discussion? Chief, what are the penalties for not complying with state law? Or Dennis?
Yeah, that's probably a better resource for you.
And I think the way this one was passed, Mr. Mayor, members of council, is it forces us to follow this. It says we can't enforce noise ordinances that don't comply with the state statute.
Okay. Any other questions, discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes, motion passes. Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 25-1216?
Mayor,
Mrs. Rodriguez,
I move that the mayor and council approve the first reading of ordinance number 25-1216 and to place it on its second reading by number and title only.
do I have a second? Motion by Mrs. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Baldenegro. Any discussion? Mr. Baldenegro?
Clarification, so anybody can turn the noise, but I don't know. So you said on the website, whatever happened,
It's for construction.
construction.
And it's basically, chief, correct me if I'm wrong, for like the construction workers, so they're not out during, you know, the heat. They start a little bit early so they can get done early.
But I will put 24 hours and we.
That's considered construction. That doesn't-
Mr. Mayor, you're correct. And just to add a point of clarity, it's 5 a.m. for construction, but concrete's allowed to go an hour before that. So 4 a.m. for concrete. But yes, the idea is to protect the skilled workforce that has the hard job of working out in the Arizona heat.
We still have a noise ordinance, by the way, so you can always call that in. There's no other discussion. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes. Thank you. Item number 12, city manager reports. Mrs. Urquijo?
Yes, thank you. So I'm sorry, I couldn't open up my page here. We've already announced through the mayor's report that our construction for the commercial land port of entry is underway, so we're very excited about that. $653 million investment project by GSA, and it is the first phase of a two-port solution. So just want to remind the public that this is the first portion to begin the construction for the commercial port of entry 4 miles west of town, but then lagging about 12 to 18 months behind that in the start of construction is the expansion and remodeling of the existing Raul H. Castro port of entry. So very excited. City is planning a groundbreaking for September 5th. It is a closed gathering. However, the community can participate, witnessing the moment through a live streaming event. We're working on those details. Stay tuned for that. And this is a historic moment. So I congratulate all of the community, mayor and council, and so many stakeholders that have worked for decades on this project. We also heard from Jay from the Boys and Girls Club. I had that as an update as well. We did meet with leadership this week, and we're working with them on trying to solve and create a timeline to get them in and do what they do best. So we have not established, or they have not established a timeline. We still have a few minor repairs and setup in the portion of the call center that they've agreed to use. We will come back with a memorandum of understanding. I believe in October is when we're setting to do that, to finalize the arrangement for the facility use or use of the facility space for the former call center. They are, as Jay mentioned, working behind the scenes. They have to set up an advisory board, find a local director, and things are in motion. So what I heard them say was a tentative possible January start date of 2026 with a fallback start date of summer of 2026. So this is an opportunity
copy a link.
This is an opportunity for the community to come together and support in all of their fundraising efforts. City Council has kind of paved the way there with allocating in their current budget $200,000 for seed money. Mayo Family Foundation followed with another 100,000. And as we heard today, kudos to Cochise County Supervisor Gomez following with 10,000. So that's what this is about and how this is going to be successful. So we're looking forward to partnering with many more opportunities to keep them going. Also, the downtown streetscape project, the design continues. We are awaiting final documents to take the project forward to the bidding process and select a contractor. The project still has a fall 2025 start date. Once a contractor is selected, they will be meeting with business owners to coordinate construction timelines. The city has requested a tentative timeline to provide the business owner that information sooner. We also have continuation of the back nine at the golf course. The project continues as a rehab project. All lines are repaired and sprinklers are installed at this point for the back nine. The contractor will be seeding this weekend pending weather conditions. Also, construction of new well 18 water well continues at Jocassee Park. I'm sure you've seen the big drilling rig there as you pass by. Sometimes it is going all hours of the day. The first phase of the project entails drilling of the well site, and the second phase is to equip the well site with a pump and chlorination equipment. That's expected to be active by summer 2026. Also, as we stated at our last meeting, the new asphalt plant was close to arriving. Well, it has arrived. We are completing the foundation work and pulling and upgrading utilities to the site. We will keep you updated on that progress as well. Our striping truck has arrived. We're excited about that. We are waiting on a vendor to help us mount the striping machine, test it, and provide training. We have also a release this evening, I think, of a YouTube video that showcases our most recent Douglas Days 2025 celebration from this past May. So that will be, it's probably already online. Also, I wanted to just make an announcement of the Douglas will be hosting or is the presenting sponsor for the 6th annual Native American Festival on November 15th at the Cochise County Fairgrounds. That'll run from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's brought to our community by Spotted Eagle Native Arts and Crafts, LLC. The event will showcase nonstop world-famous performers that will include hoop dancers, White Mountain Crown dancers, and Yaqui deer dancers. Something new to our community, but very excited to have that opportunity as a special event. Also on Thursday, August 21st at 12 p.m., Groundswell Capital is providing a virtual information session for contractors looking to grow their business with Earthwise. Earthwise is a loan program that makes it easier for homeowners to say yes to important repairs and sustainable improvements without credit score, income, or equity barriers. The program is actively building an approved and vetted contractor lead list. And this is an opportunity to learn how being part of the program can directly benefit your business. So contact our economic development staff or office for details. Ready to launch and grow your business? Join us again at the Douglas Visitor Center for a free series of hands-on workshops designed to help entrepreneurs and business owners thrive. Those are my updates, just as a quick update based on some of the calls to the public. We do actually have an ongoing and standing meeting prioritizing all of our, not only our lights, but our streets and sidewalk and curbing is included. And because we anticipate the evolution and moving forward on the project with the call center, as a community center, we had already moved up all of the areas around there. So that I think that might address the areas that Bilar has stated. We will reach out to him and let him know where that is on the timeline, but it has been reassessed based on that development, as he mentioned. And I will also reach out to Cochise County to establish maybe some meetings to update on some of the points made so that we can collaborate and maybe clarify a few of the areas mentioned there as well. Looking forward to work together on that and on many more things to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 13, future agenda item requests from mayor and council. Any requests?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Acosta?
I'd like to direct our city manager and Kiko to just anything that will provide us with the strategic port of entry economic plan and then bring it to mayor council and also the creation of a port of authority.
Okay, we can have that on the agenda, maybe in partnership with contact Cochise County also, since it was mentioned. Any other requests? I have 3. I'd like for a future, preferably next month, for a presentation of code enforcement. Maybe the stats on how many warnings given, citations given, fines given. We've gotten a lot of complaints about the code enforcement that we just don't do enough. Also, I worked with Dennis on this a few weeks ago, ARS 38-502 and also 38-503, so we could be compliant with the state statute on a future agenda item. And also presentation, I'd like a presentation on tourism and marketing efforts by our visitor center. I've gotten complaints by someone downtown that we don't do enough on marketing and tourism and how many we bring. So I'd like the community sort of to see a presentation on that. I'm sure Cochise County would appreciate a presentation on that to see what we do on as far as our efforts, who we reach out to, what our marketing plan is, how do we advertise Douglas? So for a future agenda item. There's nothing else. Item 14, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mayor,
Mrs. Rodriguez?
move to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
This is the first time everybody's coordinated at the same time to answer, was it? I'll give it to Mr. Montaño. First, motion by Mrs. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Montaño. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it. We adjourn at 7:47.
Have a nice
Thank
evening.
you. Have a good evening.
Right.